moved very fast. Okay, people on the call, please do share the video so that it can get to other people. You can just share it on your timeline so other people can be able to have access to it. And the chat is giving me, I'm failing to edit this thing and it's taking my time. And I see on the call, on Zoom, Benjamin is here, Oscar is here, Victor is here. There's more other people that are busy joining. So we're going to be starting in the next 5 minutes. We'll make sure that we start in the next 5 minutes. And we'll be speaking about issues of pain and retrenchments. As I'm here, I was fired. Max was sidelined. He was not fired, he was economically sidelined. And I know that.
No, I discovered that I was a cost. You know, they were cutting costs.
Yeah, they were cutting costs. We're part of the cost that they were cutting.
Yes.
And in the next 4 minutes or so, we're going to start discussing that on how you survive that and share a little bit of your story. I'll share a little bit of my story, and we're going to take it from there. It's like now 2 minutes past. I think we can just start so that the other people can join us as time goes on. Guys, that chat, it's a slip of a finger. I'm gonna edit it when we're done because I've been trying to edit and I realize it's disturbing us. It's supposed to be Fireside Chat with TJ and Max Moyo. And we are starting. So good morning, Max. How are you feeling this morning?
I am, as I like to say, blessed and highly favored.
Great.
How are you, TJ?
No, I'm great. And I want to welcome everyone to what we call Fireside Chat. My name is TJ Wakamalamule Mwana Manana. I'm the second born, mainly the handsome one out of the 4 boys. Because my brothers, no one knows my brothers. So I stand handsome until you get to know my brothers. I'm excited. I'm a coach and a speaker. And I'm an entrepreneur and an author. Max, you can introduce yourself of what you do.
Good morning. My name is Max Moyo of the Moyo clan of the Rosy Kingdom. We're the original custodians of what you now know as the Great Zimbabwe Ruins. I've often said that if the Moyo clan were to come back together again, we would be the largest monarch in Southern Africa. So you find the Moyos predominant in Zimbabwe and the Lozis in Zambia, the Barota in Botswana. These 3 groupings used to form what was known as the Rosy Kingdom, and what you know as the Zimbabwe Ruins was actually a palace for a king. I am also the son of Ham, the son of Noah, the son of Methuselah, the son of Seth, the son of Adam and Eve. Welcome all and sundry. I'm looking forward to an exciting time. I like to think of myself as a loving coach and a teacher of timeless principles for human effectiveness. Timeless principles. Effectiveness.
If it was at a conference, this is the time where I was supposed to stand up and just give you a standing ovation just from your introduction. I mean, that's amazing. I always was caught. The first time I met you, I was really caught by this introduction. Just by the introduction, I was sold. Guys, I'll have to tell you the truth. Max is one of my favorite speakers. If you haven't had Max speak, you haven't had a very good speaker. Max is like brilliant. I'm not buying his face. That's what I tell myself when he's not there. Fortunately, today is hearing. So we're going to move on, Max, and just start and get down to it. Here you are working. You're at the pinnacle of your career. You are making enough money. That means you have the right address. You drive the right car, and everything around you becomes right. You wear the right clothes, and you are invited to the right parties. And then of nowhere.
Put it this way. Yes. Yeah, put it this way. You have arrived.
You have arrived. Yeah. So so you're at that place where Max, you've arrived. You've got everything going for you. And you are living what I call the African dream. And then you lose your job. You get retrenched immediately. What goes through your mind? Can you share with us a bit of that story?
So it's 2005. I'm sales director at Charter Life. I've arrived. I've got all the trappings of life.
Sure.
A 3.5 million rand house, Range Rover, an S500, you name it. I'm making what I call crazy money. TJ, you understand, you and I who come from poverty.
Yeah.
Of course, the moment you start making money, you want to make up for what you did not have when you were growing up. And so I wasn't a stranger to that. And I woke up one morning and I remember what happened. There was so Chatter Life was owned by Liberty Life, and they then bought another insurance company. And then one day somebody at the Group Exco decided that, hey, we got 3 insurance companies, 3 MDs, 3 sales directors, why don't we amalgamate everything into one and save costs? Little did I know that
you were part of the saving the cost.
I wasn't the sales director, I was just a cost, man.
Sure.
And of course, when the process, unfortunately, you never know how life turns out. You could do all the right things.
Sure.
And then, things can just go wrong. And it's not even that maybe somebody went out of their way to target me. No. That's how the domino fell. And obviously now you've got one company, you can only have one sales director. You can't have 3 sales directors. Sure. So somebody has to. Yeah. So I woke up one morning, TJ, 5 million rands in debt and unemployed.
Sure. And then what do you do under those circumstances? What do? You're a Max here now, you travel the world, you inspire people. But at that particular moment, you move from over what I call a bar a year, more than $1 million a year, to being unemployed. That means 0 a year. What do? Do you get out and say, yes, I'm going to live my dream? Or you jump down into depression?
So the first thing that happens is you kind of think, well, I've got X number of experience in the insurance industry or financial services industry.
Sure.
And in those years, there are very few senior black executives in the industry. So you kind of, comfort yourself, man, I'll go home, spend a month or so, relax, and I'll get another job, and life continues as usual. That was my first thought. So nothing changed about my life.
So in other words, you kept your address, you kept the cars, you kept everything that you were having.
Yeah. So it was like nothing. I was waking up in the morning and not going anywhere. Sure. Obviously, you polish up your CV, you send your CV, and of course, at that point in time, there's huge interest. So people are calling you. They're setting appointments. So it's promising. It's promising, except 6 months down the line. I'm still sitting at home, and if you got a 3.5 million rand bond, you're paying 35,000 rands a month.
Sure.
For your bond, and you got a Range Rover, you're paying, and obviously your cash flow a little bit. And I had only been in that role for 18 months, which means your retrenchment package isn't much to write home about. And of course, to cut the long story short, I didn't get that job.
Sure.
I ended up at home for a whole year.
With how much were you owing by then?
So 5 million rands. So 5 million rands and I'm at home. And then you move from hope to why is it happening to me? To feeling sorry for yourself.
Sure.
And then to being numb, completely numb. In fact, you could just wake up and do nothing. You're just numb. And of course, people are saying to me, why don't you start a business? Now you must think about it. I was a corporate junkie. Never in my life had I thought I would start a business. I was convinced that what I was going to do was going to work until I retire.
Sure.
So now that I'm unemployed, to try and rewire my brain to think of business, that was a huge, kind of hurdle to jump. And I battled with it. And of course, you're not working anymore. So you're thinking, well, if I have to buy a business, where am I get the money from? But you need credit to get financing. You can't get credit if you're not working, and you don't even know where to start. Actually, that's the biggest challenge. Is that the thinking of an employee is different from the thinking of an entrepreneur. And to switch from employee to entrepreneur, that's a tough one. It's a difficult one. I'm not saying it's impossible, but for me, it was difficult. I and I ended up spending a whole year. I never started a business. In fact, after a year, I then got a job and went back to work.
So tell me, so under those circumstances, if those circumstances were to be repeated now with the information that you have, and you are put back then, and you are saying make decisions, what decisions do you think you would have made differently?
So in retrospect, this is what I saw. So obviously I made the mistake that perhaps those of you who are listening now or watching who have lost your jobs.
Of which who are still going to lose their jobs.
Or you're still going to lose your job. Some of you have lost your jobs already, or you're still going to lose your jobs, or you've lost your business. The first thing, the mistake I made was to keep my expenses as they were.
Okay.
Because the first thing I should have done, the moment I realized, I have no income, I should have gotten rid of all the unnecessary expenses. That would have meant I should have gotten rid of the cars. I did put my house on the market. The challenge, some of you will remember, in 2006, the housing market crashed and interest rates went ridiculous high. So it was very difficult to sell, property at that particular point in time. Similar problem to now, because with the lockdown, if you're trying to sell a house, it's probably next to impossible because people can't even come and view your house. So there I was. So the lesson for me was start by getting rid of unnecessary expenses.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't need the Range Rover. I didn't need the S500. What I needed was to get rid of because now when you're unemployed, you don't know how long that's going to take. What you need is a roof over your head, and you need, money to be able to access, whether it's reskilling or even just looking for a job. And so I should have done that, but I didn't. And I paid a high price for it.
So the first thing is you must get rid of unnecessary expenses. And what else?
Yes. So get rid of unnecessary expenses. Accept your reality.
Okay.
Man, this is over. This part of my life or this season of my life is gone. I'm entering a new season which I don't understand. So I need to think differently. So if you used to go out for dinner and all this stuff, you stop all that nonsense. You kind of say, well, I don't know what tomorrow holds, so I need to conserve whatever cash I have got. I mean, I finally did it, of course. I remember driving to West Bank. Some of you will know it on the end of the N1. I remember driving and giving and walking there. And I even remember the guy's name. His name was Patrick, and I giving him the car keys. And that was the greatest liberating, exercise I've ever taken part in. Just going there and saying, here, I can't afford it. This is not for me. And a lot of people will struggle if you identify with what you own. You're going to struggle at this point in time. And I had to think back.
Sorry, before you go on, what do you mean by that?
So if your identity or your value, your sense of value, your self-esteem, your value comes from what you own, then if you lose that, you lose yourself.
Sure. True that.
So your sense of value has to come from more than things. You are more than things. I am valuable without the things. I was valuable before in fact, I get things because I'm valuable.
Okay.
My ability to get the job, my ability to move up the corporate ladder is driven by the fact that I'm valuable.
So it's not the Range Rover that makes you valuable. So you get
driving the Range Rover does not make me valuable.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just so what makes me valuable is the ability to earn the money that will make me afford that type of life. And so when I lose it, the joy of growing up in the village, TJ, when I lost it, what helped me was I remembered where I came from.
Sure.
And I thought, I grew up in the village. My father never drove a car. I mean, we were poor when I was growing up, but we were happy. And I figured, wait a minute, I was happy. I mean, look at what I've achieved. I might have lost the job, but if I look at my ability to touch people over that past 15 or odd years that I was working, I look at that and I think, no ways. I've actually done very well for myself, for a village boy. And so that then gave me the motivation to keep going, saying, if I've done it before, I can do it again.
Wow, that's interesting. So someone wants to know, what conversation did you have with your children and your family by then? Because this is another thing that happens when you go through such circumstances. For instance, I also got fired from my job. Something happens. You have what we call budget friends. So you've got a lot of friends around you because you have the budget. The minute the budget moves, the friends moves. In my case, by then, when I got fired, I was engaged. And when you lose your job or you don't have money, if you're a church boy like me and you are dating a girl from church, they do the Christian thing. The most Christian thing to do is we need to talk. It's not you, it's me. I need some time with the Lord. The nice person don't change. And then they'll give you some sort of a prophetic word. You'll find someone better, and then that means the relationship ended. So in other words, my question goes to, what conversation did you have with maybe your significant other then and your children regarding your situation?
So fortunately, TJ, when that happened, my kids were pretty young.
Okay.
So they would have never understood it anyway. But my partner, understood. But it was a difficult one because she also was at school. In fact, the year I got retrenched, she was just finishing off her master's degree. So you can imagine. So for me, this was a tough time because I'm losing my source of income and she's just about to start. She's looking for a job so she can start working. I obviously obviously it took me a long time to get back on my feet again. And at one time I remember having to pull my kids out of private school because I can't afford it. And the thing that, and I had to bite the bullet.
But what do you tell your kids, Max? So here you are, your kids attend this school, in the suburbs, in the barbs, as they call it. And then now you must say, you can't attend this kuro, you can't attend this school. You need to start attending the school in the village. And
so once again, I was fortunate. My kids were young, and I was able to take them, even though I took them from private school, I was able to put them in a quite a brilliant, actually, government school. So I was fortunate.
Sure.
I was fortunate in that sense. And the school was so close to the house, so they could literally walk across to the school. So in that way, it worked out for me. But let's just talk about this thing. When you lose budget, those of you who have jobs, when you lose that budget, you're going to discover that you actually, what you thought were your friends are not your friends. I mean, when I was retrenched, most of the guys, and I'm talking people that I helped, to get jobs and to get careers going. I'd call people not because I was looking for them to help me. There are people that you think that you're mentoring, eh? And I'd call to try and find out how life is going. People won't even return your call, my friend. So you learn something that's very important. A lot of people that hang around you when you have a budget are not your friends. They hang around you for what they can benefit from you.
So let's go to this. Now you've got the Range Rover, you have got the Mac, you've got this expensive house. How did you get? So you took away the obviously the cars, you took them back, and then what happened to the house?
And so I put the house on the market. And this is where you realize, because a lot of times, people have got good stories about, hey, then the house got sold. I put the house on the market. I couldn't sell that house. I ended up selling that house for R1 million, 1.2 million rands less than what I owed the bank.
Sure.
So when all was said and done, TJ, I got rid of all these trappings of life, the things that I'd bought on hire purchase, and I was left with debt of 2.5 million rands.
All right, guys, we still
let me put it deeper now.
Sure.
Let me
go deeper, Papa. Go deeper.
This is what I discovered.
Sure.
I was a fool and his money are soon parted.
Okay.
Nobody, because sometimes we don't, so one of the things that if you bond your life, because effectively when you buy a house, you're mortgaging your life against that. Yes. You are saying, I'm going to be employed for the next 20 years, or whatever,
so
and
I can pay
you
for
buy
the
a house for the next, you're saying that. Yeah, you're taking the risk. And so I took the risk, I gambled, and I lost. I am responsible for how my life turned out. Nobody else.
Okay, guys, I see you on Zoom. I see you on Facebook. I see your questions. We are with Max Moyo. We're discussing pain today. And he just told us how he got out of retrenchment. And we're continuing. So if you have questions, just keep writing them here on Facebook. And please write them on the other side on your Zoom. And I'll just throw questions to him. Max, yesterday, I think I sent you something on WhatsApp about the South African Depression and Anxiety Group. They released their latest stats that shows that before this lockdown, they used to receive 600 calls, right? Now they receive around 1,500 to 2,000 calls. And then 55% of those calls that they are getting is people who are just stressed about the future. They don't know what's going to be happening to them because of their jobs and businesses and all that. And on the other side, 45% it's because people are already now deep in debt. They don't know what to do regarding their monies. So it's very stressful. And I can tell you that by today, I've attended ever since lockdown started, I've attended over 35 webinars, and everyone on the webinars, I'm a speaker also, and other people are speakers, and everyone is telling us to just rewire your brain. The world as you knew it, it's not there. Rewire your brain. I'm like, it's not practical. What do you mean I must rewire my brain? So I'm asking you now, what do I do in those circumstances now? I'm losing my job. I'm losing my business. The truth is, not all of us are going to make it. And I think we need to be honest about that. And what do I do? What do I do? How do I get ready for what's about to happen? How do I beat myself up before the bully gets to me?
So the first thing I think to accept is that things have changed.
Sure.
It's a fact. It's unfortunate, but that's how the cookie crumbles. Life. So think about it this way: there is nothing permanent about life. In life, nothing. Everything changes. And now you are caught up. So you accept reality. This is where I'm at. I've lost my job, or my business is gone. So think about this. First step. Now I've lost my job or my business. Sure. You're in a big hole. You're in a big financial hole, right? Stop digging. When you discover you're in a hole, stop what? Digging.
What do you mean by that?
Some people are going to try and borrow money so they can pay for their cars. That's just making the hole deeper. If you find yourself having to borrow money to pay for a car that's parked in the garage because you can't drive anyway, I mean, look, get rid of that thing. Yes, the bank will they will put you in the credit bureau. So what? Stop digging, because you don't know how long this is going to be. Because, let me give you an example. So let's say you're paying 5,000 rands a month for your car. All right? You're paying $5,000 a month. Now you don't have the $5,000. Now you go and borrow from your credit card or from your overdraft facility to pay for it. But you don't have a source of income. You're just making the hole bigger. So stop digging. And then only focus on the necessary expenses. Like you need food. You need to eat. Yeah, you need shelter. Yes, you do. If your kids are going to school, you want to make sure that they can continue to actually go to school. The rest is a nice to have.
Sure.
Then so now this is painful, TJ. This is a painful experience. It's a painful experience. I'm going to repeat again. It's a painful experience. But it is, when you are faced with a pain, I call this the tsunami of life. You remember many years ago with the tsunami in Indonesia and in Japan? You remember that? Yes. That's when things happen that are outside of your control. What's happening to us now is outside of our control. The only thing we have control over is ourselves. How you react to it. None of you were born with a job. None of you were born with a business. Everything you can do now, TJ, you learned from scratch. And so you can learn to live in this new economy.
Sure.
That's what the webinars, when they're saying rewire your brain, what they're really saying is that now you're going to have to go back to school and learn how to survive in this new environment. You can't do that.
In other words, and my thinking was, in other words, this whole thing had to equalize everyone, for all of us to start afresh. That's what you mean?
Look, the world has been reset, guys. So the world as we know it does not exist anymore. And then I want people to understand this. The president said the other day that the worst is still to come. I agree with him. The worst is what is still to come.
In Africans, they say, excuse my French, here come the cock.
Yes, that's it. Because we are in it. Look, it's like being in a war. I can remember back in Rhodesia then, when we woke up one day and soldiers were everywhere. I saw helicopters dropping bombs and gunfire and all. That life never returned to normal.
Okay,
but we had to learn.
That's an actual thing that happened in your life. You say what really happened?
So during the Rhodesian War, what you call Zimbabwe was called Rhodesia at one point, and there was an actual war to liberate the country.
Sure.
And when it came to my village, when the war came to my village, I remember that morning very clearly. We woke up as usual, went to head cattle as usual. And while we were in the fields, we saw the first aeroplane flying over. And then before we knew it, there were helicopters, they were dropping bombs. The guys, these so-called freedom fighters were fighting back. I saw helicopters going down. I mean, I was sitting there, when stuff like that happens.
And how old were you?
I was 12 years old.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And now you don't know where the rest of your family is. You run with those who run. You hide in the bush. I remember hiding in the bush for 3 days, not knowing whether any of the family members have survived or not. And when we finally came together, and thank God we were still alive. But the point is, that day, my life changed.
So in other words, sorry to interject. So in other words, if you had attachment to the school that you were attending then it means the attachment must be gone because you can't go back there.
In fact, I never.
Friends, then it means you can't go back then. Then it means now you must start reworking your new reality.
Yes. And we had to do that because then what happens is that we left the village. I never met the guys I was in school with again, up to today. That was the end. 1979. My class in 1979, I've never met the guys who were in my class again. We parted ways that day, and that was it. I went my own way, and my life went a different way. So the point is, that was a turning point in life as we know it. Fast forward, I get retrenched. That's a turning point in life as I know it. And I can go further. I mean, a couple of years later, I get divorced. That's a turning point in life as I know it. So there are these things that will happen to you in life that you cannot control. If you lost your job, there's nothing you can do about it. It's lost. Now you have to either look for a new job or reskill yourself for jobs that are available.
So tell me a bit about attachments, because I realize that everything you're speaking about goes around attachments. What's happening? I beg your pardon?
I have a saying.
Sure.
The death of attachment is the birth of pure bliss. If you want to be a man or a woman at peace with yourself, don't get attached to anything. Everything is passing.
Like some guys
the people
say,
your family is passing by, your everybody. One day you and I won't be here, TJ. We are all passing by. So if you get attached to it, you can't move forward. So the first step in moving forward is to detach yourself from the things so think about it. So you have to get rid of your car because you can't afford it. But your value is attached to this vehicle. So you want to hold on to it as long as you can. And you're digging a bigger hole for yourself and risking your family much more. Get rid of it. That part of your life is gone. Now you are let's say your work is I don't know what work you do, whatever work that you do. Oh, let's talk about us.
Make an example with me. You are a speaker.
So we are speakers. We are all speakers, right? We can't do conferences because of that virus.
Sure.
That part of our lives is over. So we got to find a way of doing what we do without the crowds. If not, we got to find a way of making a living. And as you can find out now, we're on Zoom. We can do the same thing that we've always been doing. In fact, we could do it with even a larger crowd across the world.
Yeah,
it'll take a while for the market to catch on, but actually people should just be paying a fee and joining the conversation.
Like yesterday, I watched a conference where Simpiwe Moyo was speaking. It was just after the conference, he put it online, and I watched it and I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I wouldn't be at his conference. Now I get to attend the conference, even though I'm not part of that setup. And I was like, this is really amazing. And it has to do with a new way of how we're supposed to be doing things. And also regarding this fear, because most of us now are fearful, Max. We are scared. With the stats that I just read for you now, it seems like everyone is scared. Everyone is unsure of what's happening. How do we then now, and it's someone's question here, how do we then now deal with that fear?
So think about it. You are afraid because you don't know what tomorrow holds. And that's your brain, because your brain lacks consistency. But think about, so the way you need to think about life when this happens is to think about when you didn't have what you have. When you were in primary school, going to school, when your parents provided for you, or when you started work. Most of us remember when we used to have bed sheets as curtains in our new place and all sorts of things. In other words, what you have, what is making your comfort zone, you build from.
Sure.
When you are afraid, you have to go back to history and remember that you were not born with what you have. You built it. And if I've built it before, I can build it again. TJ, we had a conversation the other day and I said, think about it. Everything you can do today, you learned from scratch. You can speak English. There was a time out there in Limpopo when you couldn't speak a single word of English.
And to tell you the truth, mine was worse, because I was taught English in Tsonga. This is a boy, Loi Infana. Again, this is a boy, Loi Infana. It was just interpretation of what is said in English then to Tsonga. This is the boy, Loi Infana. Then I had to do something for me to learn how to be able to articulate myself.
The antidote to fear is faith.
Sure.
The opposite of fear is faith. What is faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for. So you can look, so faith is not in a vacuum. You can say, well, when I was born, I couldn't walk, now I can walk. When I was born, I couldn't talk, now I can talk. I couldn't read, now I can read. I didn't know, I couldn't speak as a speaker, now I'm a speaker. I couldn't write books, now I've written books. You can look at what you've been capable of doing. You got to go back to history and look at your exploits. That tells you that you can, no matter what is thrown at you, you can build from scratch. So now we need to look at the new economy and say, well, now that I don't have a job, how can I make a living? How can I make a living? So you got to look and say, what is the future world going to look like? If you are doing something, there's no space for fear. When you sit at home and watch Netflix, in fact, by now, most of you have finished all the series on Netflix anyway. So now, when you sit and do nothing, fear, no, seriously, fear is going to kill you. It is when you're doing something. Because then, when I do something, I'm hopeful that I'll get the result. When I plant millies, I'm hopeful that soon I'll be eating millies. Therefore, I'm not afraid of getting hungry or starving. You get the picture? But if I'm doing nothing, then I'm going to get nothing. So one of the things that people have been saying is, and we got to deal with this, is rewire your brain. They're right. The rewiring of your brain is to accept, first of all, that things have changed.
100%.
The other day, I saw an advert for a job and I was surprised. I thought, wow, I mean, people are talking about people losing jobs, but there are companies that are hiring, strange enough. But if you are worried about, if you are in a stressful state of mind, you won't even see those adverts. There are people looking for jobs, but there are opportunities that.
I like what you said regarding making a living. There's a quote I like from a movie. It's not on Netflix. So the quote says, "We have to do what we have to do so we can do what we want to do. We have to do what we have to do so we can do what we want to do." In other words, you must be able to, if it means now, I must go around the estate and wash people's cars for me to be able to reskill myself and get to the next level. I need to be able to do that. I need to be able to push myself so that I don't deal with the fear that you were talking about. But let's speak embarrassment. Easier said by speakers saying, take your car back, take your house back.
Yeah.
But listen, I worked my way here. I've got some sort of level and status. When I get back to the village, the people who used to call me TJ, they call me Booty TJ now, because, you arrive in style, you stay in the Babs, you've got the right address, you stay in the north side of Joburg, you have, you have got some status that you've gained through the things that you're having. How do I now deal with, I understand the attachment, now I'm detaching, but how do I now deal with the embarrassment of not having the things that I used to have? Because I see most people, when we try to downgrade, when I meet people that knew that TJ is driving this car or TJ was staying here, the first thing that we do, we try to explain. Hello, how are you? Fine. No. If you see this car, this is the smaller one. Actually, the other one is at the garage. Why do you know that they took it? How do you deal with that?
Well, so maybe one word, be real.
Sure.
Guys, be real. This is where you are at. In fact, let me put it this way. What other people think of me is none of my business. Repeat. What other people think of me,
it's none of my
business. You cannot live your life on the opinion of others. You know, TJ, you can't influence what people think of you.
100%.
You're a marketing guru.
Sure.
You can do all you want and spend money on PR and all these things. People will still think what they want to think.
Of course.
And how you survive, I've always said this. If you don't put bread on my table, I really don't care what you think. Right now, what you're concerned with is survival for yourself and for your family. That's all that matters. And that takes me to the village. In the olden days, our forefathers used to go and work for the white man. And I have a picture of a black man on his bicycle, wearing a suit, going to work for the white man.
Remember my pegs
yes,
on the side?
Yeah, this peg, this peg, the pants, yes.
Yeah.
He gets there, he takes off his suit, and he works in the garden. At the end of the day, he cleans up, he puts his suit, and he goes home. He's a gardener.
Sure.
He's not ashamed, because that is a man putting bread on the table for his family. He's providing. That's where the value comes from. The value comes from provision for your family, not driving a fancy car. What's a car? It's a piece of metal junk. The Range Rover I used to drive, which I bought brand new in 2005. Today, if you look at it, it's an old piece of metal junk. It's not worth it. You can't attach value to things. The value is you. You are the value. This is a unique opportunity for you to, if you have put your value in things, well, put it this way, the universe is giving you a kick in the butt and waking you up. You are worth much more than the car you drive and the house you
Hallelujah.
live in, and the job you have. You are worth much more, and you can do much more.
Wow. So here's the thing. You are worth much more than the car, than the house. Your value is more than that.
Yes, than the job.
Amen to that.
Hey, let's look at this. Zuma was president the other day. He's not president anymore. And if his value is in the presidency of the country, then now he's in trouble. Do you get the picture?
Sure.
These are things that are passing. Possession and position is fleeting. Your value is not in the possession or the position.
Like
I am
I saw something from Michael, Simon Sinek. He says he met one of these guys, these generals, at the airport, and he had a chat with him. And the general was saying, 2 days back, I was going with 15 bodyguards being chartered. When I go to the airport, there were people waiting for me. They'll take me to the venue where I'm supposed to speak. There'll be this serious protocol. I'll get to the stage, I'll speak. Everything was provided for me. The water will be there. They'll get me the best room at any hotel and stuff. And then I retired. After retirement, I'm here at the airport and I'm alone and no one seems to know me.
Yeah. I mean, I can go to all the companies that I've worked in. They don't remember even your name, you know? Sure. 3 months after you leave a company, they don't remember who you are. But TJ, let's move this so that we can give people, we can just try and get people to, obviously they're dealing with pain. It's easy for you and I to talk about it because we've conquered.
Sure.
I mean, look at it. Think about it. I mean, we're not making money right now because
sure.
we can't speak because the coronavirus has got us locked up in the houses. But we don't look depressed, do we?
Sure.
But we're not making a living.
Sure.
But we're spending this time doing what? Sharpening the saw, preparing to make a living when the economy opens up. And so
and that's very important. That's very imperative because you spend your time now sharpening the sword for when the economy opens up.
There it is. Yeah. So now use this time to become a person of value. Oh, I love that. Use this time to become a person of what?
Value.
You can get the car, you can get the house. If you're a person of value, whatever economic environment we find ourselves, you will make money.
Because the marketplace respects value. And the market pays for value. If I become valuable, the marketplace will pay me.
There you are. So how do I become valuable? Now here's the issue. Someone will say to me, no, you know, my game is speaking. Then you put yourself in that box called speaking.
Yeah.
And if you can't speak, then you can't make a living. One of the key things that you have to the 3 keywords I believe are important whenever you are in a crisis like this. Number 1 is relearning.
Relearning, sure.
Relearning, yes. Number 2 is adaptability.
Adaptability.
Yes, adaptability.
NLP, in NLP prerequisites, they say whoever that is flexible will rule the system. That's NLP.
That's the 3rd one. Yes, flexibility. Flexibility means I must be able to bend in a different direction because that's what's required for me to keep moving. Think about it. So if you're a soldier in the Roman Empire time, you're very good with a spear or a sword. Now, if you suddenly found yourself in today's warfare, your spear and the sword is useless. In fact, you cannot be a soldier. You now need to figure out how to fly a drone and how to fire a gun and all the stuff that you know. So it requires a different set of skills. Same is true. Things have changed. How do I continue to be a person of value in this changing environment? So then, if we say, then we say, okay, if Max, you're saying I must become a person of value, then how do you determine value? Simple. Value is determined by refined uniqueness.
Hallelujah.
Right now, I wish I was a Pentecostal because there I could say that.
I'm reaching
value is determined by what?
For offering now. I want to.
So TJ, value is determined by refined uniqueness. Then we go back to become yourself or 8-1 of the world. You are a unique human being born with a special set of talents and gifts. And if you work upon those things, then you refine that uniqueness. So let me put it this way. TJ speaks, I speak, Alex Granger speaks, Tempio speaks. We all speak. Vusi speaks. We don't do it the same.
Yes.
So you can listen to me and then listen to TJ and listen to Vusi and listen to Alex Granger and get value across all 5 of us. Why? Because we have refined our uniqueness.
That's why we're not even competing.
Yeah. So this is the time to ask, what's my talents? Because when things go wrong, you need to look at So people, so someone is thinking, I want to start a business, who's going to give me money? No. Start first with what you have in your hand. So you and I have gone onto Zoom, and we're sharing our own expertise. We are using what we have. So think about it wherever you are at home. Start thinking. It's a long journey, because if you've never thought about it, it's going to take a while. What is it that I have in my hand that I can use? What talents, what skills can I begin to sharpen while I wait and look for opportunities?
So in other words, I must just look around where I am.
Yes. Okay. And look at what you've got. What can I do? I mean, people are making masks, for instance. Overnight, people are making masks. But there are people who are sitting at home worried about, what am I going to do? Because they can't think out of the box that they've boxed themselves. Yeah. So if I'm not speaking, then I can't do anything else. So you got to think, okay, so now what else can I do? Let me. So we're talking about this thing. Business is born whenever a solution to a problem is discovered.
That's true.
Oh, that's a deep one. Let me rephrase it.
Sure. Business
is born whenever a solution to a problem is discovered. So all of you wanted to start your own business. That's simple. So study problems. What problems is the world facing right now? And of those problems, which ones do you have the capability to provide a solution? Voila, you're in business.
Somebody
so the thinking, we have to spend time thinking, not worrying.
Sure.
Thinking, not worrying. And part of this is part of helping your thinking is what you read. If you are reading all the doom and gloom stories, you're going to get depressed even worse. I want to read, you and I were talking during the week about reading biographies and reading, stories of people that have done amazing things. You got to read stories of people that have survived. You got to listen to people that have survived. You have no business listening to people who are talking about how depressed and no. That's not going to help me. That doesn't add value to my life. I'm already depressed about life. I want to be encouraged. So read stuff that uplifts you. If you have nothing to read, there's a book called Bible. In that book, you are going to find amazing stories of people that have triumphed over adversity. From guys who were imprisoned for things they didn't do and triumphed, to people that lost their entire families and started from scratch. There's so many heroes that have survived. There's nothing you're facing today that somebody else has never faced before. So stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off your blessed assurance and do something.
Hallelujah. So, Bramex, there's a saying you have about success and pain tolerance. Tell me more about that, success and pain tolerance.
Okay, so let me walk you through the value thing first, and we're going to go to success quickly. All right, so we said you need to now become a person of value, right?
Sure.
Success. So you don't pursue success, you pursue becoming a person of value.
You become
and
value.
We said value, yeah. So value is determined by refined uniqueness. Notice I don't need TJ to be valuable. All I need to do is to refine my own uniqueness.
Sure.
So no compare and contrast. I don't have to speak like Vusi. I don't have to speak like Alex. I don't speak, no. I must refine my own uniqueness, right? Okay. Now, when you refine your uniqueness, stay with me. When you refine your uniqueness, that then leads you to significance. You become significant. Notice the significance does not come from the position you hold or the money you have. It comes from refined uniqueness. So when you become significant, people pay for your time. All right? Now, it's easier said than done. To move to where I'm talking about is going to take pain. Okay. So let's talk about this. Life has changed as you know it. So you're going to have to grow into something else. You have to what? Grow into something else. Okay, let's look at my pain equation. Growth is equals to change. Growth is equals to change. So if you're writing, please. Growth is equals to what?
Change.
To change. Right. So every time you grow, you change. Right? Now, normally we grow, we force ourselves to grow by stretching ourselves, isn't it?
Mm.
But now what has happened is Mother Nature is forcing you to grow.
Mm.
You don't have a choice. You are going to grow out of this thing or you're going to be extinct.
Sure.
So life is changing. So ask yourself, what do I need to change in order to grow? In terms of use of your time, the people that you listen to or spend time with, and your thinking. You are not going to get out of this crisis if you don't change your thinking. Your thinking is going to have to change. Sure. Let's move to the next one. Change then. Change is equals to loss. Whenever you change, you lose something. So in your case, you've lost your job or you lost your business. That's change. Some of you lose your spouses because when some people don't know how to deal with crisis, and so they go into a shell, and then it becomes difficult to relate to one another. So relationships are going to break through during this time. It's okay. So now, what are you? So here's the loss. Oh, I love this. Change is equals to loss. What do I need to lose in order to move forward? You might have to lose that car. You might have to lose that house. Some of you might have to move back to Limpopo to your parents because you've got no money. It's okay. It's okay.
That's really powerful, Bramex. That's extremely, extremely powerful. Change equals to loss.
Loss, yes. So what am I willing to lose? Some things you're going to lose, but not by choice. You've lost your job. You don't have a choice, but that changes you. So what do I need to do so that I can be employable again? What new jobs are coming up? What new jobs will be coming up that I need to prepare myself for? All right, number 3. So number 1 was growth is equals to change. Number 2, change is equals to loss. Now, think about it. The loss means there's some people you need to stop listening to if you're going to come out of this thing victorious. So all the negative friends that call you and complain, switch it off. What you need is someone who's going to encourage you to say, listen, get up. What are you reading? Okay, there's this webinar. Please join TJ and Max. Listen to Moyo. Listen to Alex Granger. Those are people you want to listen to. You don't want someone who just wants to, we have 8,000 more cases now. Yeah. Yo, kunzima. All right, so number 3 then says, loss is equals to pain. You need to understand this.
Sure.
So now, the pain you are feeling now comes from loss. A sense of loss. You've lost your job. You've lost something that made you feel like you're worth something. You've lost a spouse. You've lost money. You've lost the house. By the way, you haven't lost the house if you think about it. Because a bond is nothing more than a long-term rental. That's
So you never had the house.
You never had the house. Now you can't rent, so they kick you out. Don't get tied to it, guys. I couldn't pay for that place, man. I talk about losing my house so many times. Hey, it wasn't my house. It was the bank's house. They took it and gave it to somebody else. So what? They borrowed it. I said I was worth it. I think in 20 years' time, I could pay for this thing. They said, okay. 5 years later, I couldn't pay for it. They said, hey, Chief. I said, yeah, no, you can take your house. Hey, Chief, you can take your car. I don't need it. At one time, TJ, I walked. I did not have a car. I was speaking, okay? Using Uber.
Yes.
Yes. So now, loss is equal to pain. So the pain you feel is a sense of loss because you have attached yourself to the things that you have lost. So detach. So now here's the question. Now you need to move on because you can't sit there. You need to move on and do something with your life. The question you need to ask yourself is, what pain am I prepared to go through to change my circumstances? Araba. Hey!
Hey! I caught that. What
pain do I need to go through to change my circumstances? Stop wasting your time on the things you've lost. That doesn't help you. That part is gone. That's gone. What pain am I prepared to go through now in order to survive and feed my family and come up on top again. One day we'll read your book about how you survived. One day you will be doing the... So what pain? One, pain in terms of what? Relationships, building new relationships. You're going to have to pick up that phone and call someone you don't know and say, please help. That's difficult because some people will say no. And if they say no, you put the phone down, you call the next person until somebody says yes. So you're building new relationship. The pain in terms of what? Learning new things. You're going to have to read. Now, TJ, you will give them later because I know you once posted a whole list of courses you can do on at some of these universities for free during this time.
Yes.
So hopefully you add that to them. So there you are. Some people say, I don't have money, Max. What do you mean I need to learn? There you are. It's free. Just go there. Learn. You never know how that, because you see, the more you read, the more you expose yourself, it helps your thinking. Right now, you're listening to us, and what's happening? You're getting your own ideas of, oh, of course I can do A, B, C, D. Does it make sense? Yeah.
Sure.
So change your thinking. Because the thinking that got you to where you are today is not the thing that will get you through coronavirus. You and I, TJ, have had to rethink our business model, isn't it?
Sure.
Because the world has changed. Now, changing that thinking is painful because the brain wants to go back to what it knows, comfort zone. So now we're being forced, stretched to what? To move on. Now, those who are going to survive this, TJ, are people who are willing to go beyond their pain line, what I call your pain line. We all have a line drawn in the sand of what pain we're prepared to take.
Pain tolerance.
Yeah, your tolerance level. Well, now, if you want to survive in the new economy, you are going to have to raise your pain threshold. You see, TJ, when you have to leave a house that you bought, that you've been paying for a couple of years, because you're kind of pay, it changes you. That pain remolds you. When you drive that car to West Bank or whoever and drop the keys, that pain changes you. When you have to tell your kids they can't go to that school because daddy can't afford it, that pain changes you. But it changes you for a better, because after that you can take any other pain. So what happened to me is my pain threshold increased. So now I can't do the work that I'm supposed to do now.
So you must be willing to lose until there's nothing to lose anymore.
Yes. In fact, ownership is an illusion, TJ. You don't own anything.
Tell me more.
Ownership is an illusion. Let me explain this to you. The only thing you have is the right of use. You don't own a house. You have a right to use it. You don't own a car. You have a right to use it. You don't own a husband. Hey!
You have the right to use it.
Let me explain this. So now think about it. If you buy a house, you have a right of use until you die.
Yes.
When you die, that right of use ceases. Somebody else takes over. You don't own it. You use it.
Sure.
So now you can't pay for that house. You lose the right of use. That's all. You haven't lost you. It's a right of use that has been taken away. You can't pay for the car. You lose the right of use. You don't own these things, man. It's like when somebody breaks up with you. You lose the right. That's all. Next. Therefore, so here we are. So let's get that equation.
Sure.
Growth is equal to change. What do I need to change in order to survive the coronavirus pandemic? 2, change is equals to loss. What do I need to lose in terms of my thinking, the relationships I have, and what else? So it's thinking, it's relationships, and there's something else. What am I missing? Thinking.
It's thinking.
Relationship.
It's the relationships.
And use of time.
Yes, use of time. Yes.
You have been spending hours in front of Netflix. You are wasting your time. You can't change your life by watching Netflix. Read a book. And most of us have been sending all this fake news about COVID-19 instead of you wasting your data when you could be reading a book online. Yeah. going to change. Change is equals to loss. You're going to have to lose some things to survive. In order to feed your family, you got to get rid of that car. Otherwise, you won't be able to feed the family. If you need, it need be downgrade from that house into an apartment that you can afford. There's nothing wrong with you going back to a 2-bedroom apartment from your house in Santon. Fine. Yes. Some of you have to go back to the village. Move in with your mother. Go start afresh. You know, when you're shooting an arrow, you got to pull that bow. The further you pull it back, the further the arrow is going to go. Same thing. Right now, your life has come to a standstill. You got to pull this and relaunch again. And if the relaunching means going back to your mother's house until you can start again, then do that. There's nothing shameful about that. That's why home is always going to be home. When you left, your mother says there'll always be a home for you here. Well, it's time to call mommy and say, yes, that home you said is going to be there. I'm coming.
I'm coming.
All right? So, but remember this. This loss is going to be painful. Loss is equal to pain. But that's okay. If you are willing to take the pain now, you'll be able to move your life forward. If you avoid the pain, then you will go into depression and you can't move forward. So there's a need to embrace this pain. Hey, this is what it is. Yeah, I'm going to rise up now to the occasion and I'm going to go through this. You're going to walk through that pain. A guy who wins the Olympics, he's running in winter while you guys are sleeping.
Sure.
Going through pain. So what pain are you going through now to change your circumstances? Don't tell me about how unfortunate you are. Tell me about what pain you're going through to change things. Max, I'm learning a new skill. I'm doing this, I'm developing myself. Do that. Then if it means, if you don't have Wi-Fi, go to your friend who's got Wi-Fi. Yes. Say, Max, can I come to your house? You come and sit. There's Wi-Fi. You can sit there and it's free. You can sit there and get it online and do what you need. By the way, for those of you who can afford, by the way, these are difficult times because what happens when in times of crisis, people stop being humane. So please, if you are in a position to help, please help somebody. So if 100%. You've got Wi-Fi, for instance, give people access to your Wi-Fi. If you can give your neighbor access to your Wi-Fi, if you've got one of those unlimited Wi-Fi, help somebody. There are a lot of students today who are having to study from home and they don't have data. Please buy them data. Spend 200 Rand, buy somebody data and do that throughout this process for those who can afford. I promise you, there is value in reaching out to someone else and helping someone else in a time of crisis. So finally, we conclude then that growth is equals to pain. You are never going to grow without pain. And this is probably one of the most painful experiences. The difference now, remember, throughout life, people are going through pain. The difference with now is that the whole world is going through the same pain. I mean, I was reading yesterday, was it America, 3.3 million people have lost their jobs since this thing started. So it's not only you. Worldwide, people are struggling. Yeah, but we are going to come out of this. We're going to succeed. Yeah, so you got that.
Sure. So, Bramex, I think we need to conclude. We've been speaking for more than an hour, and the time moved to 1 hour and 5 minutes. And I need to thank everyone on the line for watching. And I think we'll be back again maybe next week, Friday, the same time, so we can be able to finish some of the things like going forward. But what are your parting words now with regard to what we're talking about now? Loss. Obviously, we spoke a lot more about loss. We spoke more about pain, and we spoke more about detaching from our own attachments. What are your parting words regarding that?
So I don't want to underplay this. It's a painful experience when you have to disconnect from what you're used to. But this is life. We don't have a choice. The decisions you make today will determine what your life is going to be post COVID-19.
Sure.
And you have to make the tough decisions now. Don't make the mistake of trying to hang on to things that you shouldn't be hanging on to. If you learn to detach, it'll set you free to receive the things that should come to you. So use this time to grow yourself.
Sure.
How do I grow? I use my time differently. So in other words, who I hang with, what I read, what I don't read, what I listen to. I change my thinking by reading. You'll be the same 5 years from today, except for the books you read and the people you meet. I also changed my life by establishing new relationships with people who are trying to change their lives. If you're hanging, the thing that I share in the book, Become Yourself. So if you are broke and you go visit your broke neighbor and you spend 6 hours having a broke conversation,
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Sure.
So the question is, during this crisis, who are you spending your time with? Spending 1 hour with TJ and Max has probably added much more value than the 7 hours you're spending with a broke guy complaining about what Cyril Ramaphosa should do or not do. So if there's any lesson here, is watch what you do with your time during this crisis. Are you with me?
Sure.
What are you going to do? Because how you use your time now will determine whether you progress. Because we all have the same time. We're washing hands and we're sitting at home. But TJ has read how many books to date? Come, not yet. Yeah. How many books have you read since we started?
Yeah, that's what I'm busy with ever since we started. I'll show you now. These are the books that I read ever since we started.
Now, think about it, guys. End of March to beginning of May, look at the books that he has read. Where now you're sitting complaining about my life is... No, so get up, get off your blessed assurance, do something. You have the ability to change the direction of your life. You have the ability. And if you can't, both TJ and I are coaches, and I think we are available. You can call us, you can send us messages, and we can have a chat on our, because sometimes you're so stuck, you can't seem to move out. If you find yourself you're going in a circle or you're in a loop, then send us a message, call one of us. Let's try and help you find a way forward.
Thank you, Bramex. I did not know. I know that you are a Christian. I did not understand until now that blessed assurance means another thing. It just hit me now that blessed assurance. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Blessed assurance. Thank you guys for watching and for being with us. We really appreciate your time. We call it this Fireside Chat because we're trying to have as much honest conversations as possible. This came from me and Max always having a talk on the phone. And I decided, why don't we take this and share with other people out there? Maybe it can help at least 1 or 2 people or whatever. It's not about the crowd. It's about just that one person that will get something out of this. And it can help them to be able to face this time. Because, guys, the truth is times are tough. And the best thing that we can do is to serve a little bit. Just push a little bit. Do something for someone without expecting anything back. And that will be able to assist you also to deal with this. Thank you very much, guys. And
thank you, guys.
Thanks to Max, and obviously thanks to everyone on the line. From myself, TJ Malamule, Mwana Man Anna, the second born, the handsome one out of the 4 boys, Mr. Supercharge. We're out. That's where you throw the mic on the stage and people scream.